Okay, so good morning everybody and once again welcome back in today's class. Today we are on the day number 6 of our class here.
Mm-hmm.
So till now we discuss mainly that how a BA do the planning and then how a BA do the requirement gathering. That is the elicitation part. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now the third point is that you got the requirement. Okay. But are you sure that those are the confirmed requirement or those are the potential requirement? Okay. And how to trace them means to make sure that there is a no gap in the requirement gathering or in the requirement. How you maintain that to make sure that each requirement should go as step by step to prioritize that, to assess the changes. Might be tomorrow business say I want some more changes in this requirement and how to be approved that. So this concept come under the topic called requirement lifecycle management. Means in this we start from manage and maintain, and at the end we say that yes, now requirement is reached at the stage of the retirement as well. Means when you confirm that there is no more value we are able to achieve from this requirement, we call this stage as a retirement. Even though retirement requirement never get retired, but let's say you are using a dining table. Okay, first you're using second, third, fourth, fifth, seventh, eighth, ninth. After 10 years, this dining table is not giving that value which you're looking for. Might be it's too old, might be it's getting wear and tear, something is there, chairs are getting old, design is getting old. So then you will replace that, right? It means from the day you think that you need a dining table until now that dining table is serving a value to you, but now it is not more required. This is what they call the requirement at the retirement stage, sorry. Okay, so in this particular process, in this particular step, we are going to be discuss these stuff only. That how to be trace the requirements, maintain the requirement, and prioritize the requirement. Finally, changes and approve it. Okay, one more thing which is important in the this life cycle. Number one, each what I can say, each requirement is like a business need for me. Okay, each requirement is a business need. This is what it says. So requirement is a business need because you're not building from your own mind. What business is saying, you're building it. Number one. Number two, every requirement go through a life cycle. It is not that you done the illustration part, so it is approved. No, it is not like that. Every requirement have to be go for the approval, sorry, assess, approval, trace, maintain, and retirement. And finally, the every retirement reach at the retirement state. When you think that there is no other value, there is no much value we can receive from this requirement, is called the requirement reach at this state. Okay, to understand this process, let's understand in the paint first. Where it's gone here. Okay, so let's say there is a box. You done the requirement illustration part and now you are doing the assessment. Okay, you're doing your assessment here, requirement assessment. Now when you're doing the requirement assessment, it can be the case it might get approved, it might not get approval. If it is getting approved, yes, then your approval come in the picture. And here we talk about the approval. If no, then you're going back. Might be it changed a little bit more. It can be a potential requirement, but it is not actually a requirement. Might be it can be education part. It can be training part only, which you can cover it. It is not required that you have to be develop that stuff in the platform only. Once a approval initiated, is it approved? If approval yes, then we have to be do the three things. Number one, trace. Number two, maintain. And number three, prioritize. This particular section says about that shall I send this requirement to the next phase or not? You done the illustration part here. You understand few of the business things. You are sending them forward by considering and changing the things as per the business terms. That is called assessment. Like I say that, hey, I want to build a house in the air. You're doing the assessment here. If you think that yes, it is assessed, but I need it for the approval perspective, or is it assessed? Yes, only then it will go approval. If not assessed, then go back in the potential requirement phase only. So in the life cycle, this is the whole concept we cover up. This whole is come in the life cycle management. So trace, maintain and prioritize are the three things. Then if anything new changes, anything new came in this part, then I'll go back here. How to manage that changes. And for that, we need a approval. Who will approve it? So this is come into the lifecycle management. And in this area, the BACCM. In this, what does the change mean here? What does the change mean here? Change means that manage how the proposed changes in the requirement are coming on. This is what the change mean here. To evaluate to evaluate and design that requirement, how to change this, how this change will happen in this particular phase. What is the need in this step? The need is prioritize, trace and maintain is the need in this step, that how to maintain, how to trace, how to prioritize a requirement. So trace, maintain and prioritize are the need in this step. And then solution. Tracing means to evaluate, to see that all the requirements has been gathered or not. Is there any gap or not? So how you are going to do the traceability? That is what we need a solution for the same. And how the solutioning will be designed for the components. That's come under the traceability. That's come under the solutioning part. So these three things are important here, that what is going to be changed, what is the need here, traceability, maintenance and prioritization, and what is the solution we are looking for, how to trace and how to design the solutioning part. Okay, clear till this point? Okay, good. So now to build this particular concept, we need the requirements. This is what we've done. We need a design that how the requirement gathering will be done. Okay. In this, the input will be proposed changes. Might be after the illustration, business says again, I need some more changes. Okay. And the input is that verified requirement, what you send it. Or I can say when you're this thing done, sorry, this phase done, that is your verified requirement, because if the requirement is verified, only then you can move for the prioritization. Let's okay, now do the prioritization here as well. Okay, so now we'll start a deep dive in this area. First, it says trace requirement, sorry, tracing trace requirements. We have a requirement which we got in the last step, and we have the design that how this requirement can be built up. Okay, there's a concept came in this domain called the traceability matrix. Traceability matrix. You know, there is a paper came that we call the tracing paper. You use that paper, on that paper you design something, and that get highlighted or the printed in the bottom paper. I generally this is generally used when you go for the tattoo part, or when you want to be do some this thing dye part or something kind of drawing part on your clothes. Then we use a tracing paper. It's a white color. Someone says it's a butter paper. Someone says a tracing paper. So on the tracing paper, you put some design, and that get printed in the bottom layer, and then you remove the tracing paper, and then you start designing it. Mainly it's used in that part only. When you do some kadhai and something is there. I forget the right name for this one. Okay, but tattoo in that they use it. The tracing paper they use it. Okay. Now the traceability says that I want to make sure that I'm having now. So I have something here, and I want to be reach here. Traceability confirm that there is a no gap in between these two. That is the purpose of the traceability matrix. If you design something on the tracing paper, that will get printed same in the bottom layer as well. That is what it says. There's a no gap between these two. Like carbon paper is what is a tracing paper only. You write something on the first paper, then put the carbon paper, then put another paper. So if you write on the first paper, carbon paper copy the same in the bottom paper as well. This is what the same concept come from the traceability matrix. It is actually document which we maintain, and where we mention all the requirement in a sequence. And then we identify that is this requirement has a complete cycle or not. Let me give you example. Let's say Sharmila is getting younger now, and her mom says, hey Sharmila, you should know that how to make a cup of tea. Okay. Her mom starting teaching her that how to make a cup of tea. Take a bowl, put a glass of water, put on the gas, switch on the gas, wait for 5 minutes, water get boiled, then put the sugar, put the tea, put the milk, boil it 5-7 minutes, take a cup, and then put the tea in that particular cup and serve it. These are the whole steps, whole requirement. Now mom was sleeping, so Sharmila says, okay, let me make a cup of tea. She pick up this thing, fry pan. She put the water. She waiting for the water to be boiled. But she forgot to switch on the gas because she did not mention this in her copy or notepad that this is what the step need to be done. And here the traceability metrics come in the picture. While her mom was teaching to her this thing, if she note down the step by step, she can assure that yes, she has a complete things. Now she can ask the question at the last, Mom, what about that fry pan? Where to put? Do I need to put on the gas itself? Do I need to put in the sink itself? Do I have to put somewhere else? This is what the traceability metrics come. Because you have to be see. So from the traceability metrics, you can go backward as well to see that how the system has been built. And you can go upfront as well or the forward as well to see that what the next steps have involved in the traceability. Traceability metrics also used in the testing as well, where a testing team can see that what are the other requirements we have to fulfill. Might be in a single test case, I can cover 5 or 7 requirements. Or might be for each requirement I have to be write a different test case. So this is what the traceability metrics is. Number one, the importance that why traceability metrics is requirement because it gives you the faster impact analysis. Now, when Shamila start writing these things in the notepad that okay, take a fry pan, put the water, switch on the gas. Now from this she can say, oh my god, if I put the gas on the high flame, it can burn as well. Like when you make a cake in the microwave, you know that how much the temperature you have to put it. 160, 170. If you put more than 200, the cake can be more burn or more kind of untested format. So with this traceability matrix, you can quickly do the impact analysis that if I skip this step, where it is going to be impacted. Number one. Number two, it is the best way to find out. Hey mom, you did not tell me that if I put the high flame, then what will be happen? Give me 1 minute, Shamila. Okay. So you can find out the inconsistency. On the first time you say, mom says that put in the medium flame. But at the last you're saying at the high flame. What is the reason behind that? Why there is an inconsistency? Cannot I make a cup of tea with the medium flame all time? So that is the second point. Third point, it helps you for the reliable assessment. That do I actually need this particular requirement, or can I address in some other manner? Like can be training is the one of the thing, not the platform requirement, but it can be a process requirement or a training requirement. Go ahead, Shamila now.
So when you were talking about traceability metrics, this scenario came to my mind, which is one of our team are asking for a change in our change management, whereby they do not want this step to where we ask for approval from the assignment group. They want some of the things to go to the CAB approval directly. So on a traceability matrix, so is the most important requirement to find out the impact analysis. Could we try and see how this will impact on the traceability matrix on that traceability matrix that you were having on that slide? That's all the thing.
Okay, so the thing is, see, you got the requirement and now your team says that they don't want the middle approval, they want directly the CAB approval, right? This is what you have a question. Now the thing come that why the traceability metrics come in the picture. when you got the requirement, you put these requirements also in the your Excel sheet in the matrix only. Okay. Now when you are reading these things, you say, if I skip, let's say, okay, let's say if I skip the middle approval and going to the cab approval directly, what can be the implications? If I skip this particular step, it means in the cab approval, the chances of rejection will be high. Why? Because cab will say, is this document available? You said no. Is this has been done? No. Then the cab can reject the changes. Number one. Second, cab in the cab meeting, they don't have much time to be evaluate each and every change at each and every perspective. So it means again the chances of the cab rejection can be high. Now on these two bases, you have done the impact analysis and then you can propose, guys, we should have a middle level approval as well. It can be technical approval where the responsibility is to make sure that all the requirement document has been attached, all the required field has been filled, all the pre-deployment steps has been clearly mentioned. So these are the come under the um, domain of the assessment, technical assessment only. And in this area, the traceability metrics help you to find out the impact on this particular part. And then you can ask them to be add this as a requirement to bring a new step for the assess level approval as well.
So then we redo the traceability matrix.
Definitely, yes, you are the BA.
Yeah. Okay.
That is the reason I said in the second step that you need a domain knowledge. Because if you don't have a process knowledge, then how you will evaluate the changes? You and me are not the dumb people. We are the people who know the process, who know the platform. If you don't know the process, then why I will hire you as a BA?
Yeah. So we are well placed to recommend these changes.
Yes, we are because we are the SMEs here. We have a domain knowledge. Customer hire you by saying that Shamila is a ServiceNow consultant. If Sharmila don't have a ServiceNow knowledge, then why should I hire you? Correct?
Thanks, Atulya.
Yep.
So it is IT knowledge that we are bringing to the table as well as personal knowledge. Yeah.
We are the person, we are the users who have full rights to say that this is not a valid requirement as well. If you think that it is not a best practice, you can say to business, no, this is not a valid requirement. We should not implement this. It should be handled by the training. It can be handled by the process, but not in the platform level. So next step in coming in the traceability matrix is called the process traceability. So in the process traceability, let me bring a new one. In the process traceability, what is the steps here? So first you have a value chain, that what value you are bringing it. Then this value will be connected with some of the business process. Incident change problem is your business process. Then this business process or my process can be sub processes as well. Like incident, I have a major incident management. That is my sub process. And then a process or sub process have a activity that initiate a MI call. And how to initiate that has a task. This is my process traceability. If I remove this, can you tell me that what is MIM mean here? How the MIM come in the picture? No, because MIM is okay. The name you know, but from what is the origin for this MIM? It is a process. It is a chain. It is an activity. What is this? It is a business process. So it means We need the business process. If I remove activity, so now in making a cup of tea, boiling the water is an activity. But on which degree it should boil, that is your task. How much water you should put, that is your task. The quantity is your task. So I can say, okay, what this task should be performed under which activity? Because I can have a multiple task and multiple activities. Boiling water, boiling the tea, putting the tea, sugar, milk. These are your activities. In activity, what is the task? How much spoon you have to put the sugar? How much spoon you have to put the tea? How much milk you have to put it? That is your task. So this is my process traceability. What about the software traceability? Software requirement traceability means what is the requirement? So now in the software requirement, I have a business need. Okay. Then I have a requirement. For this, I have a requirement. Now under this, I have multiple type of requirements. So I can say I have a business requirement. I have a stakeholder requirement, or I have a solution requirement. Right? Anything you can say. Business requirement, I should be get compliance. Stakeholder requirement that only directors level can approve it. Solution requirement that in a system, make sure only director can approve. Now, when I reach to the solution requirement, then I have to be, so what I will do here, let's do easy to be understand. It is a business requirement. It is a stakeholder requirement, and this is a solution requirement. In the solution requirement, I can have these things. Design, code, and test. Test. So this is my software requirement traceability. Because in this you're doing the software, but these two work, ye sara, all these two sections. So I should say like this. These two work hand in hand. They're not they cannot work in the silos. They work hand in hand only. So this is what come in this traceability part. Now, when we reach on this level, traceability requirement. So we got this part that this is what the traceability come. Now, what are the elements involved in this domain? In the traceability. Number one, how formal you need a traceability. Everything should be documented or not. So formality is the one part. Okay. Second, what type of requirement it is? So I can say it is kind of a relationship. What type of requirement it is? What type of relationship between the requirements? It is a drive based or it is a depend. Drive means when one requirement is derived from the another requirement. So like in this case, business requirement is derived from the need, or I can say the stakeholder requirement derived from the business requirement. Depend is another format. When a one requirement depend on another, means when you're making a cup of tea, the boiling of the last stage is depend on the ingredients you put it. That is your depend, not drive. If the first one is not completed, you cannot go for the second one. And in the depend also, I have two things. It's a necessity or it's a effort. When it is must, you put sugar, tea, milk. You can serve that as well. No. Boiling is necessity here. Until unless you will not boil the mixture, you will not boil the ingredients, it will not give a taste to you. That is necessity. And efforts is mainly something that which is you can implement if the other is getting implemented automatically. Now let's say your mom make a cup of tea and ask you, Shamila, can you serve it? That is your efforts one. That is not necessity, that is efforts one. Mom says, okay, I'm just getting my hand washed. Can you serve this tea for me? That is an efforts requirement. Generally, we don't go up to this level, efforts or necessity, but yes, drive and depend, we always find out that it is a drive requirement or it is a depend requirements. So when you get the relationship in this part, then we make sure that we have a traceability repository. It can be your Excel sheet, it can be your Word document, it can be your any kind of format you can make it. But as I say in the beginning, and you also ask in the when you're making the traceability this in repository, you must have a domain knowledge. Only then you can find out the gaps which we discuss here. That you can find out the gaps only when you have a domain knowledge. You should know because where to store, how to store, how much to be stored. Your information system come in the picture, which we see in the last step. Not we see in the BA planning and the monitoring step, information system. Where to store, how to store, who will be accessing, who will not be accessing, what attributes are required, that come here. And then yes, so these things. So once you get all these things, you get your requirement traced and you get your design trace. Trace means what is business told to you? You got the confirmation. Yes, this is what business is required now as a solutioning part. And to do these things, sorry, I missed out this part. Domain knowledge come on this particular part as a guiding tool. Your information system as a guiding tool. Where to store, how much to store is come here. And then finally, your requirements get traced and your design get traced. This is what we have to be built. It's a confirmation. Yes, there is a no gap now. All the steps, all the requirement which has been given, which has been written is confirmed, and in this sequence it should, sorry, not in the sequence because sequencing come in the prioritization part. And this should be done this manner. And also requirement tracing tell you that is this a depend requirement, it's a drive requirement, it's a necessity, it's an effort, that how these two relationship, how these two requirements are related with each other. Because when you're going to prioritize it, you should know that if it is a dependent one, then you have to prioritize the other requirement as well. It is a drive one, can I delete it? So that relationship help you to do the prioritization part. That is the third step in this area. And in the designing specifically, what the tracing means, that how the two requirements are linked with each other on the component level, on the phase level, or on the iteration level, or on the solution scope level. Boiling the last ingredients is the last step. So that is a design at a component level. Boiling is the one component which we use in the beginning, and boiling is the other component which we're going to be used at the end. So that is my design tracing. And once you confirm, then you can ask your team to build the final designs.
So, can I ask? Can I
Good.
ask if you have one of these traceability matrices sheets that you can see?
I don't have anything. I don't, practically speaking, I don't have anything handy, but I will find out something for you. Okay. So generally what we do basically in my practical experience, we put we put in the story format, and then we try to be link the story as a prerequisite or the dependent story format. Okay. Traceability metrics, if I practically says, I used approximately 4 or 5 years back, not immediately. It's very early stages in my career I used it. That is the reason I'm saying that few of the things which you learn here in this particular area might be not directly used in your projects or in your client side. But this is what the BA box says, that a requirement must go in the traceability part. So now if you say, Atul, can you implement the ITSM for my company? Yes, I can implement, but I'm so mature in the ITSM now, I don't create this thing, traceability metrics. In the workshop, I got the requirement and say, okay, this is missing, can we add? This is missing, can we add? This is not required. This can be done at the later stage as well, because the maturity in the domain has been reached up to the level where I can just discuss and build the metrics in my mind itself and find out the gaps immediately. Okay, but yes, I will find out something for you that how it will look like. Then we can discuss on this particular part.
Thanks,
Okay,
Atul.
don't worry. I'll might be tomorrow. We'll pick this up. Now you got the requirements. Traceability has been done. You got the drive. You got the depend. You got the solutioning components as well. You got how to restore all these things. Now the question comes how to maintain that. Maintenance is the next part. Maintenance in the sense of the accuracy. Maintenance in the sense of the consistencies. My customer says that I need a form where 4 fields should be shown: name, age, gender, and date of birth. Okay, fine. Next day, some other stakeholder come and start commenting on that requirement. Hey, I need a 2 form where I can see name, age, gender, date of birth. Now you are confused as a BA. Boss, yesterday you discussed it's a 1 form. Now you're saying a 2 form. Is this consistent? No, it is not consistent. It is accurate. Now the question comes on the accuracy part as well. It is accurate. No. So these things come in the maintenance part. Not even not see maintenance is the not the right word. It's a maintain part. Sorry. Maintenance come at the last stage. It's a maintain part to make sure that the requirement you got should be accurate and should be consistent throughout the life cycle. That is another reason when you go for the requirement gathering, you as a business analyst must be sure that the terms you are using should be consistent throughout the life cycle of the workshop gathering. You should not replace need and the business requirement. You should not replace change and the solutioning part. You should not replace the change and the business need. Business is need is different, change is different, business requirement is different, solutioning is different. Otherwise, everybody get confused. So in this part, as I said, two things are important. Number one, consistencies. That is the one part. And second, should be reviewed and should be approved so that no further changes is required on that requirement. Shamila says, Mom, you told that I have to be boil the last part of tea on the high flame. I did the same. But sometimes you say, hey Shamila, can you make the flame little light? What is this? Why there's an inconsistency in that? Because that is confusing you as a BA. That is confusing your developers. That how to build the solution now. Someone says two forms, someone says one form, someone says 4 fields, someone says 3 fields. So in this part, we do these particular things. Main requirement is maintain the requirement. What you are getting from here, see, getting from here, it should go this domain, should go this area. You are freezing it now. Maintain means you are confirm and you're freezing it, locked it. No further changes required on this particular part. So like sometime what happen when you do, let's say you want to travel somewhere on a vacation, you start packing. Okay, ladies start packing a week advance or 2 weeks advance. They start putting the things in their bags. This is a kid bag, this is the husband bag, this is my bag, makeup box, and all things will be there. A day before travel, you lock each and every bag. It means neither a new thing can be go inside, neither anything come from that particular bag now. Why? So that when we on the vacation, we should not miss out anything. This is what is locking phase here. If you have some problem in this part, next part will be get impacted. So when you maintain the requirement, number one, you have to be make sure the attributes, their urgency, their priority, their risk, their assumption should be clearly mentioned here. Because those will be used in the next phase. यहाँ पर वो यूज होंगी प्रायोरिटाइजेशन में. See, business constraints ये सब यहाँ पर यूज होंगे. Okay, so you have to make sure that your attributes, what is the urgency, what is the risk level, what is the assumption level, what are the stakeholders requirement, what are the priority level initially given, should be put in the requirement, maintain requirement. Second, can I add or can we see there are some requirements which can be reused? Like training is the requirement which can be reused here. Do we need to be add that as well in this section? Yes. How to use the new module? A training is required. That is my reusable requirement. Remember that reuse requirement is one of the part of the section number 1, BA planning and the monitoring part. This requirement might be used in future as well. So these two things are mainly important here. That can I get some requirement which can be reused and what are the attributes required for this particular section. And once you get confirmed, you are maintaining it. Means you are going to be lock your travel bags now. And once you lock it, sorry, go ahead.
On a story level, how do we maintain this? Do we move the story to a different stage, and that's when we say, "That's it, guys. There are no more changes on the story." That's how do we do it on a story level? Okay, the maintain requirements.
Okay. So at the story level, when you start drafting the story, that is your story maintaining. Until unless a story is approved, a story points has been given, has been prioritized, it is still in the maintenance phase only. Not other than that. In the draft state. So I create a story, I put the story in the draft state and I start writing it. As a persona, I need this thing so that I can achieve this thing. Action 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I go back to my stakeholder. Hey, can you review this story? Atul, can we remove this part from this story? It is not so much risky. Okay, or reduce the risk level as a 1 or 2 or 0. Can you update the terms here as a change and process owner? So that is a maintenance part. Till the time your story is fully ready, you cannot go to the prioritization phase. So this part, your stories are in the draft state only. तभी तो बोला, that is I said that consistency is required. In the draft state, it can be inconsistent. But when your stakeholder says, yes, I approved it, you reach at this level. Draft done, approved, and now come for the prioritization part. Clear, Sharmila?
Got it, Atul. Thank you. So then we move the story to the ready state. That's
Correct. This is what, yes, draft to ready state. It means you sure that what has been written is fully confirmed now. No further changes. If any changes come, that will come under this section. Approve requirement if something does change. Or this one, sorry, assess requirement changes. Then you come on this particular part. So that is the reason that we are doing these steps in, day out, but we are not aware that where we are following these steps actually. And now I'm sure that you understand that why these courses are required to understand that what is the importance of maintaining requirement here. What is the importance of the traceability matrix here. So once you confirm that part, yes, it has been done, my story in the ready state, then you maintained it. Design done, maintain done. That by this way we can design it. And then you start prioritizing it. Prioritization happen when we go for the this thing, what I can say, PI plannings mainly, or the sprint planning. Then we prioritize. I have a 50 stories to be do. Now guests are coming at Sharmila's house. She need to make biryani, she need to make tea, she need to make sevaiya, she need to make curry, she need to make chicken as well. 5 items, 5 requirements are there. What is the priority for her to be start? And she want to be take a rest as well. She want to be go for the makeup as well. So now she has to be prioritize it. And to prioritize it, important part is that your domain knowledge is required here. So we have a story in the ready state is all done. And now let me put, sorry. Now I have to prioritize it. And priorities, as the name says, you have to be do the ranking. That which requirement should be go first. Simple example, let's say there is a birthday party at Vidusha's home. Might be her son or daughter has its 5th birthday or 1st birthday. 1st birthday, 1st anniversary, after marriage, 1st birthday for husband or wife, both all are important. Now for the kid birthday, you have a big plan. Making a list of the guests, booking the this thing banquet hall or might be a small place, booking a cake, decoration, food, snacks, return gifts, dresses, everything is priority. So all the things has been clear here that what we have to do. Now you are going to prioritize it. Tomorrow morning, I have to be get up and I have to be go for the cake booking and the food booking and the decoration booking. That is priority for me. But how you do the priority? You have to do these things. So what are the elements requirement? So inputs are same, requirement and design. That what is the business requirement which you got from the here, and this is called maintained requirement, which is confirmed. Also sometimes what happened that why they're saying only the requirement, not the maintained requirement. The reason being, when we go in the when we go in the PI plannings, there also we get the requirements and we prioritize it, that this requirement go in the sprint 1, this can be in the sprint 2, that can be in the sprint 3. That is the reason when we have a PI planning, a business analyst also play a vital role with the Scrum Master to decide the prioritization, because you have a domain knowledge. If you say let's implement incident change and problem, and you say dashboard will be go in the last sprint, that's wrong, because it means a incident manager need to be wait at least for the 4 sprints to get the basic dashboard ready. If you have a domain knowledge, you say no, they should be go in the sprint 1 itself along with the incident management requirement, because we can provide a basic dashboard to the users. So when you are prioritizing it, number 1, the element which is required to be discussed to be understand here is called basics of prioritization. What this mean? Number 1, you have to be see that what is the benefit I prioritize this story at the number 1. What is the benefit if you book the cake first day itself? Number 1, you can have a multiple options. Number 2, if you want to change something at the later on, you can still make a change. If you want to cancel it, you can still cancel it. Number 3, it can be cheap as well. Early bookings will be little cheaper. So that is the first thing which you have to see, that what is the benefit if I prioritize it. Then the penalty. If I did not prioritize this story now or this requirement now, what can be the penalty for me? Specifically, you all respected ladies here, you know that might be there is a marriage in your house, your brother's marriage or your sister's marriage. You always try to book your dresses well in advance. Why you did not delay it? If you delay it, number 1, chances, this is what the penalty says, chances you're not getting the right color of your dress. Number 2, might be it can be festival season. If you need some alteration, it cannot be done immediately. Number 3, if you book your dress or outfit later on, you will not get time to get the similar jewelry. Believe me, this is coming from experience only. I'm a married man, so this is all experiences. So these are the penalty. So I always ask my wife, if these are the special occasion, please book your outfit or the dress on the priority basis, at least 3 weeks, 4 weeks in advance. This is what the basic of prioritization. Number 3, cost. Cost can be in the sense of benefits. Cost can be in the sense of penalty as well. If you prioritize, if you do this story at the early stages, it will be cost you less, because what I can say here, mainly it is a kind of a cost we're considering from the vendor perspective. If might be we need some third party vendor, they can say, okay, I have a 2 weeks time. I can do it in the this much cost. Same concept. If you go for the dress alteration, you say, no, bhaiya, I need it tomorrow. Madam, 500 rupees. Give me after 2 weeks. Madam, 100 rupees. This is what the cost means here. So cost can be in the sense of penalty as well. Cost in the sense of the benefit as well. Another point when you do the prioritization is a risk. If I delay this requirement now, how much risk it is. And this is important. Customer says, I want to be go live with the incident management by 31st of March. Why? Because 1st of April, the financial is getting changed. I can track everything in the new system. If you delayed it, my reporting will be impacted. That is the risk here. And then we have a dependency, which we see from the previous steps. Dependent or the derived requirement. Is this particular story, this particular requirement is depend on some other one. So I have to be completed. And last is a policy or the compliance. As I say, from 1st of April, the new rule for the organizations are coming like GDPR. It is old now, but when the GDPR came, the UK and EU country says you have to be implement. You have to make sure that data should not go out from the Europe, or sorry, should not go out from the UK after 1st of March. Try to be not right. You have to be implement the compliances on that particular part. So on these bases, you prioritize it. But when you prioritize it, you have to be see the challenges. Do I have the resources available to do this thing now? Is the design is ready for the same? Is there any conflict between the two requirements? Is my stakeholder available or not? Let's say you prioritize the compliance story which is related to the compliance, but it is a festival season. It's a holiday season. Business is not available. Then it is a challenge. Now Sharmila says, Atul, what to do in this case? It is a risk. Put in the risk log and present in your meetings that business want to be go live by 1st of March, but due to the holiday season, stakeholders are not available. So this go live might be impacted. Either provide me support, either accept the risk. And then it is not only one time. Prioritization is not a one-time activity. It is a continual improvement. Continual prioritization. In every sprint, we do the prioritization. Might be sometime between the sprints as well do the prioritization as well. Hey guys, this is a requirement coming from business. Let's prioritize this and assign a developer to fix it now. It happens a number of times for me. In my last sprint, I was doing, it was going very well. Suddenly I got a message from my stakeholder, hey, we have this requirement to be do it immediately. So I had to prioritize on the top and ask my developer, stop what you're doing now, pick up this story. So it is a continual part. And to do all these things, you need business constraints, stakeholder availability, costing availability, efforts availability, change strategy. How quickly you are able to adopt if I make changes in the priority. Domain knowledge definitely you have. Governance approach. This is what is coming from the first step, BA planning and monitoring. How to govern, how to be find out the what is the cost, what is the benefit, what is the penalty, what is the risk. Who can give me the authority for this one? Who can give me the attestation for this one? So these are the part which come under this. And to do this prioritization, we can use the techniques, acceptance and evaluation criteria. So either it's a traceability, either it's a maintain or it's a prioritization. Techniques will be common. Acceptance and evaluation criteria, on which basis you're evaluating that yes, I'm going to be accept this story. Is it compliance based? It is a security based? What is that? Backlog management, important part. Being a business analyst, you always have a backlog. Backlog means that what the business requirement you have to fulfill in the future. So from that, I evaluate, I read the backlog. In my previous account, I have a bi-weekly meeting with my stakeholders just to see the backlog. And then on the basis of the backlog, we do the prioritization. You can use the data flow diagrams. Your traceability matrix is kind of a data flow. Then you can see, oh my God, I'm doing this requirement in the step number 8. It should be in the step number 5 because it's a dependent plus it is a priority one. You can do the interviews, different stakeholders. Generally, we don't reach up to the interview level. We mainly do acceptance criteria, we do the backlog management, we do the document analysis, and we do the financials or functional decompositions. That how much I can break this requirement in the further requirements so that it can be achievable for me easily. Out question clarification. Good. Thank you. Let me stop recording and take attendance now.